in Montreal when I was a student, and she was pregnant. And we went to the hospital at the time of delivery. And then the doctor said, "Get your camera ready, it's a boy." Well, what do you think? If it was a girl, I wouldn't need a camera. Anyway, I took a picture, and I saw that he had big hands, huge hands, which was covering half of his body. I said, he's going to be a giant, he's going to be a football player. And he was a football player when we lived in the United States. There was this patient who, first of all, they told me I have 45 minutes to talk. I said, well, 45 minutes to talk? They said, no, 4 to 5 minutes. I said, well, in that case, I better write something here, because 45 minutes, I'm a teacher, and I know how to talk, and just keep talking to my students for hours and hours. I don't need to write anything, but for 4 to 5 minutes, I better write it down. There was this patient who called his doctor. He says, "Doctor, I have a problem." I said, "What's your problem?" I said, "I forget things. I have the disease of forgetting," whatever they call it, Alzheimer's, things like that. He said, "Well, why don't you come and see me in the afternoon in my practice?" What time? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock goes there. When he sees the glory of the office and the doctor and everything else, the doctor says, "Well, what's your problem?" He says, "What problem?" So I had a lot of things. When I see everything is so glorious with all these beautiful people, I guess I forgot a lot of things that I wanted to say, but I've written some of them down. Anyway, he was 2 years old when we moved to Africa. And I love traveling. I've been to many, many countries around the world in the past 4.5 decades. And we had a car, and he would get tired. And he said, "Dad, it's coming." I said, "What's coming?" He said, "Dad, it's coming. I have to go to the bathroom." I said, "Shut." So we stopped. And it was dangerous. The African mother would go with an axe standing in front of us. Indeed, we have a picture of that one. Sitting over there, and mother is standing with an axe, and I'm just watching around. Because, you know, they're animals, they're lions, or they're... And he says, "Dad, it's not coming." So, we'll go back to the car, we drive for 10, 15 minutes. "Dad, it's coming." I said, "Shad, let me drive. We have a long way to go. We're not going to make it to the destination." "Okay, fine." "Dad, it's coming." "Dad." So we stop another time. "Okay, Sharvin, go out." "Dad, it's not coming." So that story continued for quite some time, and he was very smart. Well, we moved back to Vienna, Virginia. And we had intended to come back to Canada, but you know, the job situation was not good. I was offered a college position over there. I said, "Well, let's stay for some time," and you know, just and that became about 28 years, 29 years. One day we had a motorcycle, an old motorcycle, which was in the snow and ice for half a dozen of years, maybe even more. He said, "Dad, I want to fix this motorcycle." I looked at him. I said, "Dad, you're crazy. This motorcycle, we're going to pay something to the trash man to take it away." I said, "Dad, you're going to see that. I'm going to fix that motorcycle." I said, "Okay, well, don't talk to me about those things." One day, he kept calling people, asking about parts and things like that. One day he said, "Dad, I want to see you." I said, "Yes, let's go for a ride." You can't imagine how embarrassed I was and how proud I was. I was so embarrassed because I underestimated him. I was so proud because I had somebody like him. And I put all my trust on him ever since from then. I said, "You're going to be a real man and you're going to be a successful person." And I was very, very proud. I've been very proud of him. And one day he said, a few years ago, 2, 3 years ago, "Dad, I want to marry." I was thinking to marry. That was before he met Natalie. I said, "If you want to marry, I never want to see you again, and don't even tell me those things." He said, "Why, Dad? You don't want me to marry?" I said, "No, I want you to marry, but before you marry, you got to do a bunch of things. 1, education. You finish your degree. Number 2, get a job. You have no money. Number 3, buy a house. Number 4, get a car. Number 5, have a saving account." And guess what? He did all those things. And one day he came and he said, "I met Natalie. when I met Natalie, I said, Sharvin, go fast before she changes her mind. He said, Dad, it's going to be next year. I said, Sharv, don't wait until next year, because she might change her mind. And I'm so happy today to see that beautiful young lady to be a part of my family. And she did not change her mind, thanks God. All of those beautiful people who came from, distances, California, Vancouver, Canada, all parts of Canada, United States, and everything. And my beautiful daughter who came from Korea. She was in Korea, and when she heard that her brother is marrying, she said, I'm coming. And here she is. Well, taking my picture. Well, when I moved to Montreal 4.5 decades from the United States, I was in the United States. Well, that became 45 minutes. 6
minutes.
It's not 45 minutes. It's still 40. It's 3.5 minutes long. Well, I went to French Canada because French people and we Iranians are very close to one another. We're both crazy. We're both the way we drive is the same thing. The way we talk is the same thing. I said, well, I'm more comfortable, at ease. The British people are too polite. It's like, they're too polite. They're very polite. I can't tolerate them. So I'm going to stay over there in Montreal, Quebec City. And that's where he was born. And I just want to thank all of those people who came from these distances. Now, one little joke. Because I was stuck between French and English, and I didn't know which language I wanted to learn, and eventually I learned both of them, thanks God. My English is not still great, but it's manageable. There was this British guy who had a friend, his name is Bob. He said, and Bob had an accident with a broken leg, they took him to hospital. He said, oh Bob, have you come here to die? Go and visit him in the hospital. Oh Bob, have you come here to die? And Bob says, oh Jeff, no, I came here yesterday. Thank you very much.